Hello and welcome to another episode of Nolo Time. My name is Obed Velez and with me is the most interesting man in the world, Joel Young.
What's good? No load time. Obed, pleasure to be with you again, my friend. How are you doing?
Good to be here, sir. Doing well. Got tons to talk about.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been good, man. It's been a busy but good week, you know. Allergies are awful, but what can you do, right?
Just don't die on me during the show.
Don't you die on me, Evan.
What's that force choke scene, right? That Vader's doing, right? Through
We'll talk about that. You're getting a little ahead of yourself, sir.
I mean, look at the shirt, the hat. You guys know what we're here for. You know how we do.
Yeah, man.
If you're watching the video, if you're listening to the audio, well,
yeah,
you still know.
Exactly. If you know, you know. But what's up, dude? What's going on?
Oh, I'm doing great. You know, like you said, just being a little refreshed here, busy last few weeks here, but glad to be back in. Since we last spoke, I got to see a little small independent film called Top Gun Maverick.
Again?
I can finally talk about this.
Joel can break NDA. So, Joel, you saw this movie like 2 years ago?
I did.
Pre-COVID.
I want to say it was maybe the first week of February. I think it was in 2020. So this is right before the world decided to say, peace out, we're not doing this.
Yeah.
And you know, got to see it very early. It was apparently the first time they had screened it to anyone. So when I tell you it was very rough, it was rough. Like a lot of the movie is practical. So that's the good thing, right?
Yeah.
You know, they use real planes. You know, that there's a lot of you know, just general military bases and stuff like that. So that's fine, right? This isn't like a movie set in the stars. But when you get to the action sequences, which is what we're all here for, that's when it became very apparent that this movie still had a lot of work to do. Without spoiling the ending, if you've seen the movie, you'll know what I'm talking about. But you have these specific weapons that are, you know, supposed to really, you know, raise the stakes. And imagine you see, you know, Tom Cruise is flying and he's like, oh, look out. And it's just like JPEG, you know, and then it cuts back and it's like, you know, going, you know, it's very, very clear. And then just on top of that, right, there was some editing decisions that I genuinely like to think and believe that I had some influence on, right? I think everyone in the rooms and they've had so much time to look over this movie.
Oh, yeah.
That it makes sense that I think if anything, they used their timing extremely well because one, the visual effects that came through are perfect. And then secondly, the editing was like, not saying it was bad before, but like it was
much cleaner, probably.
Much cleaner, made sense. There was a particular sequence that if I was to tell you where one thing was and the other thing was, you would have been like scratching your head. It's like, it seemed like the best way I could describe it, and again, you'll know it if you've seen it. It would have been a very bipolar scene. It's like one moment we're screaming at each other, and the next moment we're playing golf. And like that kind, like it doesn't, you know, add up. They cleaned all that up. Great cameo, obviously everyone knows about that. Good respects to the original film, but it's something like if you've never seen the first Top Gun, it still makes sense. Like you don't have to have seen it.
That's good to know.
And I was just talking to some people recently who you know, they did seen the movie as well, and they were like, no offense to the original one, but it just feels so old. So when you watch this, it's so good and so new.
I don't know, man, because the original one being practical, it actually holds up, right? Like there's some, like, I guess it does have that 80s kind of like filmmaking thing, right? But at the same time, right, it doesn't really feel too dated. Like you can watch it and compare it with other 80s movies and it still feels pretty good.
Absolutely. I just mean that more in the sense, I think of when you say it's so new, they leverage the ability to use some more advanced type of ships and technology. They still, of course, reference what was. It was cool, but they use more of some of the advanced warfare that I think makes it like it takes the movie and just, you know, it doesn't diminish what was. It just builds on top of it, which is what
That's
we
good.
want Star Wars to do, what we want all these franchises to do, right? Don't just use the new technology, leverage that, and just build another layer that's just going to make it stronger than it was before. And so honestly, I think it's really good. I only thing I will add, and I've heard other people say the same thing, is like, I don't want Hollywood to get the idea. It's like, okay, great, this movie did so well. That must mean we have to start remaking all these other movies from that time. No, it didn't do well just because it's a remake. It did well because it's actually a good movie. Like it's actually,
I'm glad it's
word of
doing
mouth
well.
is saying it's a fun time. So recommend it for sure.
That's cool. That's good. Yeah, I'm glad it's doing well. I really love the original movie. I have it here somewhere. It's in here somewhere in this room.
VHS?
No, I have a DVD for it. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. It's it's special to me. Like I used to watch this movie, right? And even when I was like in high school, and I would debate, it's like, should I join the Air Force? No, it's not.
Because it's cool the way they do it.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's like honestly, the original movie is like, it's basically like a Navy recruitment like movie. Honestly,
absolutely.
It's like these guys are so cool, and they're in the Navy, and they have to do hang out with the dudes and meet good looking girls. That's the thing, right? So, I'm glad it's doing well, man. Because I was a little bit concerned when it was first announced, and then it took a long time to make because the director died, right? The original director,
I know.
And then you got picked up again, and then Val Kilmer got sick, and all these things. Like this movie, talk about production hell, dude. Like this movie was stuck in it for like 10 years.
Yeah,
it was like the same thing with the Ghostbusters Afterlife, which I think was pretty good, right? And I think that Afterlife in this movie, right, may be a good point, or make the argument. I would say that there is a possibility to bring these old franchises back, like 80s stuff, like I don't know, Gremlins and other stuff that was very popular in the 80s. And adapt it to modern sensibilities, and well, that's good, man. I'm glad.
Absolutely. I think you'll enjoy it when you see it. Surround sound for sure. Home theater.
Oh yeah. It's like 100%. That's actually one of the things that I did when during the time off. I actually got this room 5.1 so. I'm actually
is that a speaker I see?
Yeah, it's up there. Yeah.
Okay.
So I actually got this room 5.1. The living room's 5.2. So because I don't have I can't accommodate Atmos because I have a vaulted ceiling in the living room. So the only way that I could do it would be like with in-ceiling speakers, and that's not an investment that I'm willing to make because I got to wire from the wall and get up in the attic, and I don't want to do that. So, but anyway, it sounds pretty good. Sounds pretty good in here, playing games and whatnot. Yeah, so it's nice.
It's awesome.
I got a few things. Have you watched any Stranger Things or not yet?
No. So just briefly here, like I think what I've done before with them is just like I just feel like it's gonna be in two parts, right? Like for me, I don't mind waiting just to binge the whole thing straight.
Okay.
I'm not saying that I will do that, but I don't mind waiting for that. But please,
we're what, like 28 days away from part 2.
It's close.
I'm up to the last episode. So
I've heard good things.
It's good. Yeah, it's good. I'm gonna leave it there. You watch it, and then we can talk about it when we watch part 2. But so far, it's very, very good. So, I really like it. The only thing that I want to talk about, Joel, is that I love how they incorporated, and it's a topic that really fascinates me, right?
Sure.
It's they touch like from the first episode up until the episode that I'm at right now. They touch a lot on the satanic panic from the 80s, like Dungeons and Dragons, and kids are gonna go there and sacrifice their friends to Satan. And they do work. I mean, with all the things happening in the town and all that, right? That's an integral part of the story, and I love it because I've watched like documentaries on that, like 3 or 4 documentaries. It's a topic that really enthralls me because
the time period when this is taking place too.
Exactly.
It's more accurate
because I was there, right? And I remember going to church when I was a kid, and some dude with zero credentials coming in and saying that no, it's like they're burning their friends on bonfires and yeah, this crazy stuff that never happened.
Sounds like the Salem. It sounds like the Salem like trials or something.
Exactly.
Like a little,
yeah. Like, oh, this guys are listening to, kids are listening to Iron Maiden.
There could be, but you can't be careful spreading misinformation.
I know, yeah, but it's like it was all unproven, right? It was all like, oh no, this thing is like getting very popular. It's getting the kids don't want to go to Sunday school anymore. They want to do D&D. So that was the whole. That's basically the whole premise.
But the very villain itself in this is based off of an actual dungeon.
All the villains, all the villains in Stranger Things are based off of an enemy from D&D. So no, it's really good. This show's really special for me because towards like the first episodes, I was still too young, but now we're like 1986. I was like, oh yeah, I remember 1986.
Sure,
right?
Sure.
So. Yeah, it's great. It's a great show. So, Elden Ring. Okay.
The depressing game.
All right. It is very, very. It's very good. It's very, very good. It's not. You have to play it very different from the other From games. I played about 6 hours last weekend, right? And this was just me. No guide, trying to do stuff. I was able to beat a couple of like minor bosses and do a couple things and got a couple items and this and that, right? But then it was like, you know what? I don't want to keep going around. I don't want to restart my build. Let's look for like a beginner's guide because you got you like everything's so cryptic and the game doesn't tell you anything, right? It's one of those things like. Here you go. You're out here. What am I supposed to do? Figure it out. That's the thing, right? So I looked up a couple beginner guides. So now I have sort of a path. I've spent most of my time just exploring. It's hard, but it's not. It's like the wall doesn't hit you as hard as Bloodborne. I think it's more forgiving that Bloodborne in some extent because Bloodborne, I played 4 hours, dude, and I was still in the same place. Like, no progress. Until, like powered through that area. But this one is like, okay, like, I played a couple hours. It's like, all right, let's do the Bloodborne thing. Let's go ahead and grind. Let's go ahead and try and level up. That helped, right? But then I was missing some key items. It's like, okay, I got to figure this out. I'm missing stuff. I got to go back and try to figure out where these things are. So that's exactly what I did this morning. Like I played for a bit this morning and I was like, okay, well, let's kind of like make a path, see what we can find, right? And try not to die, basically. I think this morning I only died a couple times, like playing around. It's like, and it was my fault. And also it's been like
that soundbite. I think this morning I only died a couple times.
I only died a couple times. It's like, well, that's great. What's crazy, right? Is that's
crazy.
I'm used to the control, so I'm used to the fluidity and the controls in Horizon. So I'm trying to do Horizon stuff, and it doesn't work. And then and you can't play this game like it's DMC. You have to like hit a guy and then go back with your shield and hope that they don't attack while you're going back, and then wait for them to do like a heavy attack and be down for like 3 seconds and hit them twice and then go back. That's it's crazy, right? Again, because these games are not for everyone. These games are like hardcore RPG, stats management, weight management, all this stuff that you have to do. But it's good. It's really good. I think the world design is very interesting. It feels like it's very empty and depressing, and I think that's the thing that they were going for. Like Bloodborne's depressing, right? But it feels like lived. Like, oh yeah, if like there's garbage, there's stuff here. Like it feels like there's people living in the city. Like this is like desolate and and empty and sad, and it's. Yeah, you have to be in a mindset. It's very, very good. Very, very good. So I'm looking forward to playing more of that. I may just take a break, right? I may play a few more hours and take a break and go back to Horizon because they updated it from yesterday from the what they announced yesterday. We'll talk about it later. But yeah, so far so good. One quick other thing. That remake for Panzer Dragoon, the game for Sega Saturn,
yes.
that game was like $2.50 on PSN, so I bought it, and it's good. Like it feels good. Like a lot of people said that it wasn't good. It didn't feel like Panzer. It feels good. I know they patched it, right, but it's good. I'm enjoying that. So that's like a quick like grab and go, play a level, and then because the game's not that. The game's like an hour long, right? So I played a couple levels here and there, and then just filling in time. 2023 though, we'll get to it. We'll get to it.
There's some things.
Joel, stuck Obi-Wan.
Oh boy.
Spoiler alert. If you're listening to the show,
this could be a while.
Yeah. So let me see how we're doing on time here, sir. So we can time it out.
Yeah.
Proper. So we can time it out proper. All right, we good. Okay. All right.
We got 3 episodes we got to talk through.
3 episodes of Kenobi. Do you want to hear the bad first? Because I only have the 2 things that I mentioned to you, and
it's probably good just to jump right into it.
Okay,
yeah.
So I'm gonna do the bad.
We got a time limit, so I agree. I think it's...
So the bad 2 things, like the Three Stooges forest chase was dumb. Like it was so dumb. I was like, this is dumb, and I know, right? It's like Leia's supposed to know the woods and be able to get around and whatnot, but the A was super silly, and I didn't feel it. Like I don't know who choreographed the whole sequence, but it was just not good. It's like straight up. I gotta put it out there, right? Because I gotta be honest with myself, and I can't be disingenuous. Star Wars is my number 1 favorite thing ever, but I gotta call it as it is. Number 2, and it's a thing that a lot of people has addressed since, right? Like Theory put a video out there. A couple other people put a video on it. It's like, how does Riva know that he's Anakin Skywalker, that Vader is Anakin? Because no one knows. It's like Palpatine and Tarkin, basically, and Thrawn, I think. Other than that, dude, no one knows who he is. Like when I started thinking about it, right? And it bummed me. It was like when it happened, I was like, what? How does she know? Like, how? Like that's my question. How does she know, right? When I thought about it, when she was chasing Obi-Wan in the warehouse, kind of like when Vader is trying to chase Luke in the Death Star, and they're talking as like, talking about Obi-Wan's failure, and then your feelings for your friends betray you, especially for sister. Kind of like that moment when Vader, was inside Luke's head, basically. That's what I think. It's like when she said Lord Vader, it clicked in his mind, in Obi-Wan's mind. Oh, Anakin. And then she, because of her, force sensitivity to be able to read minds or do mind probing or whatever, she like put 2 and 2 together. Like she's not gonna be dumb enough to go, Lord Vader, I know who you are, because she's gonna be dead, basically, right? So that was a problem that I had that in my mind I've resolved. It's a negative because of the canon and how things work, but in my mind I fixed it. In my head, it's in my head canon. It's like, okay, and he was weak, right? Obi-Wan's still like disconnected and weak and all this. So, the mind probing probably worked. Other than that, I like it a lot. Like those 2 things aside, right? And we got to talk about the elephant in the room, right? And that's Riva. And I have 0 problems. 0. Absolutely none. I think she's great. I think she's acting her role very well. Ingram is acting her role very well. I think that she was written to be annoying and kind of like, this like undisciplined kind of character, which I think will eventually flip because she's probably dead. I had no problems at all. Like that, putting it out there, right? I think that it's, of course, the quote unquote hate is unwarranted, and it's these people like when like what Ewan McGregor said. It's like you're no Star Wars fan if you're like this. So that's the way I see it, and that's all I gotta say about the topic. Other than that, man, it's like I love it. It's like Vader. So Joel, okay. So is that James Earl Jones or is that AI?
I've heard both. I think it's a comment. I think it's a comment. I think both are true. I think it's they clearly got James to read some lines. You can't just do AI just by doing like there had to have been some type of say the seed phrase, like whatever apples, oranges, green, whatever like the combo was to get him in there, and then probably they got a deal with his family for that likeness to be used in that way. There has to have been, right? Like, I mean, that's like how supposedly
that's what they did for Mark Hamill.
Deal,
and Mark Hamill has a deal.
Yeah. So, I could totally see that that's probably both is what is the right answer. Like how Mark Hamill is really both, right? There is some Mark physically there, but there is also someone else.
Exactly. Yeah. Because he sounds younger. Like if you go back, he doesn't sound the same as he sounded in Rogue One. Because in Rogue One, sped up. In Rogue One, he does sound like, I am old and tired. But now but here he sounds more like Episode 4 Vader, more than anything. Yeah, I like it. I like the show a lot, dude. Oh yeah, I'm really excited. Yeah, go ahead, dude.
No, you're good. I mean, I don't have anything wild to say about this show except to say that it's a controversial thing to say because there are people who feel differently. We're like, no, the TV's better, or this is that, or it could be offensive. And I'm not trying to offend people who are creators, but in my personal opinion, I think TV shows are lesser than movies. And I don't mean that in the sense of that they're not, there's not richness in them and they can't be more entertaining. I'm not saying that they're from an entertainment. I'm just saying from a quality of content, traditionally. Now, I've watched a lot of shows that I like way better than movies. That all leads me to my point being that some of the things that people are having with Obi-Wan, they got to realize this is a show, not a movie. This is not that like they're taking the long route.
Yeah, because the writing is slower and
Exactly.
It's the same thing with Stranger Things, right? It's like the writing is slow. It's like you watch a horror movie and everything happens within 2 hours, but then like the Stranger Things episodes, like they're almost like an hour and a half, dude. Like they're almost movies into themselves. But so when you have 7.5 hours to spend telling a story, right, versus 2 hours, then Lord of the Rings is the greatest example we can give. There's
Absolutely.
a 12-hour version of the movie, so.
Absolutely, I agree, and I think some people, like I've talked to some people, like I was a little disappointed. I'm a little disappointed, or I'm like, I think some people. This is just me. I can't speak for people, but the way I feel is that some people expected the show to be Revenge of the Sith. Like this is a series.
Oh,
this is
start
not a
with
movie.
like flying and everything exploding, and
just
it's like, just do the next thing,
and all this stuff. But even Revenge of the Sith needed Phantom Menace and Attack of the Clones to make that movie as special as you could say you hate Phantom Menace, you could say you hate Attack of the Clones, you needed that.
We had to suffer through Attack of the Clones to get to Revenge of the Sith.
It's not horrible. I've seen worse.
It's my least favorite. So
that's fair. It's fair.
Like honestly, like
it's really not like some people hate it.
I know some people hate it. Now, some people now love the prequels, like what we're seeing now. But me, honestly speaking, being a hardcore, old school Star Wars fan, I would watch not The Last Jedi, but Rise of Skywalker over Episode 2 any day.
Oh, wow. Okay. Interesting. Yeah. Interesting. I can see that. But that ending though, pretty sick. But when I say like I see where some of the issues that some people have. I think my perspective on it being a show helps you look at it a little bit different. I'm not trying to be an apologist for it. It's just how I feel. But like, so for an example, right? Like you got the whole Leia thing, right? Personally, I like a lot of the stuff that's already been coming out on the show is stuff that I had heard from a long time ago. I try not to dive in, but I follow too much Star Wars.
We're on the internet.
You know, we love this stuff. We're on the internet, right? But like, I didn't personally love the whole Leia, you know, is the reason that he leaves, and he just leaves Luke chilling with Uncle Owen while literally an Inquisitor is walking the streets like looking for him. You know, didn't love that personally. I thought that was a little weird because, like, you and I have talked before, and other people have said it. Like, well, okay, maybe like he would leave if he knew like Cal Kestis was watching the kid, or somebody or something that's set up as a backup plan, right? And he does say that when he's talking to Bale in episode 1, saying, you know, look, I can't leave the boy. And he's like, but you can't leave the girl. It's like, how can he be in both places?
Find someone else, yeah.
Right? There should have been some type of answer. So that's one of the gripes, not necessarily a horrible thing, but something I that stuck out to me a little bit, right?
Yeah.
But at the end of it, you know, still Leia's like very important, and when you understand that, you know, it's necessary, right, for the future of everything, that absolutely her character has to be saved, and I didn't have any problems with young Leia. So that's a whole other thing that I see some people complaining about. Didn't bother me at all. I don't bother me also knowing that literally he's closed off from the Force, so he's not going to be super powerful. People are saying that Obi-Wan is nerfed in the series. Sorry. It doesn't hit me that way because his experience is not the same like everybody else, right? It's been 10 years.
He's traumatized by his best friend.
He's just learning something very new in the Force. It's a new concept of communing with his old master, which we know is coming later on, right? He had to hide himself to survive, right? So there's all these details to me that doesn't bother me there.
So we're gonna see where he is now, right? It's like depressed, cut off. Sure. I don't want to do this, and you know, now Anakin knows that I'm around. It's gonna go from that to the Obi-Wan that got through Maul in 2 swings, right? Yeah. So we're getting to that Jedi Master Obi-Wan.
Dropping Rebels knowledge on us. I like it,
bro. Yeah, it's like, well, that's the thing, like, because this everything's connected.
I
know. We're talking about Ahsoka in a few minutes, but you know, it's basically Ahsoka's live action Rebels. Like, yes. Honestly, it is
absolutely
like the Ahsoka show. Yeah.
So that leads me to another. I don't want to say gripe because it hasn't fully played out. I'm still holding on to that, based on the interview that was done with the executive producer, saying like, just wait, I can't say more. Yeah. But the whole, you know, death of the Grand Inquisitor, right?
Oh no, he's totally.
Personally, didn't like it. Didn't like it because that was probably like even with the character Riva, like her character, like, I agree with you, didn't bother me any bit at all.
Yeah.
Right. But that was the one scene that I felt like you purposely had her kill. Right, him, to make her elevated, and I felt that was a little. It was a little.
This all Vader pulling the strings, dude. It's like Vader getting, because she's you know, unhinged. So he's playing to that, but at the end, you know, the Grand Inquisitor is the Grand Inquisitor. Right. You know, it's
right. So
up until, you know.
They have two. His species has 2 stomachs. You know, there's a whole thing about that, right?
Yeah.
We'll see where that goes, right? And it's Star Wars, right? Who's really actually dead? But
no one's ever really gone.
No one's really ever. So like that. Those are, you look at the gripe stuff I mentioned. Those are probably stuff that I wouldn't say that was terrible, but it did catch me a little bit. Now, the good stuff that I love about this show, Obed, oh my goodness. I love Ian back as this character, bro. Like, I'm not going to lie, because I love so much Obi-Wan. Yeah. I was a little bit concerned that I would have my rose-colored glasses on.
No,
and
want
to see it one way, and then it'd be like, oh, like it's not working. Because there's characters who have returned actors for other movies and stuff, and you're like, it just didn't work the same.
Yep.
It works perfectly.
Yeah,
He's
man.
right back in. Love that, right? Love the continuation from the prequels. I love the flashback sequence that he has when he's sleeping at night.
Oh yeah.
Oh my goodness, love
PTSD.
That, right?
Like, it goes back to the, like, the internet thing with, like, he has PTSD, and there's that video that they inner loop, you know, footage when he's telling Luke the story and all that. So absolutely. Yeah, man. It's
and
busy.
then let's just jump to it. The Vader encounter. Like, honestly, absolutely loved that. Absolutely loved it
was
because
so brutal.
Vader's,
It's like, don't care. It's like,
he's
I'm gonna
walking
murder
through the
people until you
halls.
come out. I don't care.
Until you come out, I'm just gonna do this totally on par. And let's be real, you know, he was not going there to kill Obi-Wan. He was going there to confront him.
Yeah.
Right? He was not there to kill the guy. That's not how it goes. So yeah, that whole thing, love that. The reference, right, to the other Jedi from Clone Wars, Quinlan.
Oh, Quinlan, yeah.
That I love
Quinlan, because Quinlan's awesome, dude. And Quinlan's an awesome character because he's like Qui-Gon, right? He's like in the middle. He's like, I don't really trust the Jedi. I'm doing my thing over here, and they leave me alone because I don't bother them. So I'm gonna keep doing that.
Venturous, remember?
Yeah.
Like, it was a really cool character, bro.
Yeah.
So
yeah, man.
We'll see.
Yeah, it's cool. I like it. Like other, like, putting aside like the silly chase and the whole, you know, she knows that he's Anakin.
See, but that's
putting
TV.
That aside.
That's TV again.
Exactly.
Like, the silly chase felt like something I'd watch in a TV show, not a movie.
Yeah. So putting that aside, right? Yeah. It's good. Props to the actress that plays Leia, because kids are usually hit and miss, and she's really good. Absolutely. Like, the mannerisms and the way she speaks and everything is very Carrie Fisher, and I am like, oh, this kid is great, dude. It's
I got one other thing with the beginning sequence, Order 66, right? In the very first episode, right? Yep. Awesome sequence, first of all.
Yeah.
Secondly, do you believe, Obed, that was young Riva?
Oh,
right?
yeah, totally.
That has to be, right?
Yeah, totally.
And that, to me, Obed, comes back to, like, again, we have to figure it out. They have not telling us, so I could see where your point, I agree with where you're coming from. But, like, that has to be, right, that she already was a little bit aware of, you know, what Anakin was doing.
Maybe she saw him just swinging the Youngling Slayer 3000 around.
Or what if, for some reason, she got a hold of the hologram footage, the same security cam footage that Yoda and Obi-Wan watched, and saw him rise Lord Vader, right?
Yeah.
Maybe. This is all maybes, because clearly she's been watching old Jedi Temple footage to be able to know that Bail Organa is related to Obi-Wan.
Oh, yeah, she's been studying a lot. Yeah, right? You're right.
In Legends, we understand that any person who knows, because other characters do figure it out, that Anakin is Vader, they all end up dead. What does that mean? She gonna get killed.
She gonna get got, yeah.
You know, but you know what? She is playing her part to connect these characters, and for that reason, I'm fine.
Exactly.
Don't be a weirdo. Don't be a bully. Stop saying that she's a bad actress. Like,
no, not at all.
I'm not a hater. I'm not a racist, but she's a bad actress.
No, but the moment you said the moment you say but, then you put but in your sentence, you're wrong.
It's a little weird. To me, if you want to talk about Inquisitor bad acting, I think, look, and I like the guy in Fast and Furious.
Oh, Han.
Playing Han.
He's always like growling. Yeah.
You take your place.
But
to me, he more bothers me than her. But even that's not horrible.
But Grand Inquisitor was really good.
Oh yeah,
he was
that
good.
Dude is awesome.
He gave me like. Did you ever watch Inglourious Bastards?
Yes.
Yeah, it gave me those vibes. He shows up. It's like, oh, where are they hiding and all this thing? Yeah, it was good. It was good.
Very good.
It was you know, he was menacing without having to do much, and then trying to put the third sister in her place and all this. It was
It's classic.
Like, he commanded respect. He commanded respect, and he was. I like that.
I mean, they're not Sith; they're Inquisitors, but it's that classic clashing and betrayal and all that. Yeah. Vader's playing the strings. I totally agree.
Oh, totally. Yeah. Cool. Let's take a break. We'll be back and talk some Star Wars Celebration, some of the stuff that happened after we recorded last week. So we'll be right back. And we are back. Joe, take it away. Go get us through what happened at Celebration after we recorded. Before that, right? Let's talk about was it the Full Order sequel?
Oh, good call.
So
yes. Jedi Survivor.
Very good trailer. Still not coming out this year. Coming out 2023. The question that everyone's asking: who's the dude in the back of the tank? Is that Starkiller? Are they gonna make Starkiller canon?
Who published those games? Uncharted, Force Unleashed.
Oh, LucasArts. Back when LucasArts was around.
When they were a thing. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, how hard would that be to murder? I wouldn't imagine it'd be that difficult when you get the rights, right? Like to bring that character in.
Yeah, I mean they own the character, so yeah, very very good. I mean, this takes place right when Obi-Wan is happening. It's confirmed that it's like right at that time.
Yeah.
So it's 5 years after the first game. A lot, happened. It was that, or was that not the Grand Inquisitor, or is that someone else?
I think it's someone else.
Someone else?
I don't think it is. I could be wrong.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so like it's crazy, right? Because when you put it in perspective, right, when you're watching Obi-Wan, it's like, oh man, 5 years ago, Cal Kestis was here just offing stormtroopers, and he saw Vader and then almost got squished, and all this already happened, right? And they're going on. So going back to Obi-Wan real quick, I don't want to digress too much, but when was it Tala?
Yes.
When she told Leia, I was like, "Oh, you'll find the pilot at the end." I was expecting to see Seer Junde there.
Oh.
That would have been crazy. I would have popped. But
what about Syndulla even?
Yeah, honestly, any of the two. Yeah. So, but missed opportunity. But we'll see where they go. But yeah, go ahead, dude. I mean, there's not much to say. 2023 is looking to be stacked. We'll talk about PlayStation here in a minute, but yeah, man, take us through the list.
Yeah, first things first, we've got our Andor series confirmed coming out right after this in August.
Yep.
So not very long. We're going to have to wait after Obi-Wan is done, right? Ends this month. And then we have our, we have our July hiatus, really. And then right back in August, right back into Andor.
Yep.
What a great trailer they released.
That trailer was sick.
At Celebration. Absolutely amazing. Not a series that I was looking for, but a series that I'll gladly accept and happy to have.
And this one is going to be on actual practical sets versus the Dome. Which is, Obi-Wan and Mando was filmed at, which, they look fine, right? But this is more elaborate.
Absolutely.
And it looks like it's very political, very, like there's going to be a lot of like political intrigue going on and Empire and all this stuff. And it looks really good.
Absolutely. So that one.
Yeah. It looks like it's going to be a mix of like flashbacks and like right before like Rogue One. It looks like it's gonna be a mix of both. Yeah,
I think so. I agree. So there's a lot of really cool stuff there. That was a nice way to start off. We talked about that last week, because remember last week we recorded on Thursday and Friday. We had so we had the very first beginning days, but still just brushing it through, right? Obviously Willow, right? That being announced. We talked about that last week. The Mandalorian. Okay, so that is coming out 2023. Not going to be coming this year.
February, they said, right?
Yeah, February, early 2023. Which was, I gotta say,
it's fine.
It's fine. And did you see the leaked trailer for it that they showed?
Not that one. I saw the one for Ahsoka, but not that one.
Both of those were fire. Okay. A side note: Star Wars Celebration. What were you guys thinking of not live streaming these panels?
Right.
Okay. Like that was their live stream.
Those were the panels. Like
I don't understand.
Like some of the other cringe stuff you could have just left outside, because a lot of it was just like filler and padding and just didn't feel. I mean, some of it was good, but some of it felt a little bit too. I want to say scripted.
So. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But all scripted for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I've Obed in the years that I've been watching Celebration, and when they started doing live streams, like they always would show all of the panels.
Yeah.
That like especially the main stage, specifically the main stage's panels. Not having the Lucasfilm Studio panel, what a huge missed opportunity not showing. And then secondly, not one movie from Star Wars discussed at all.
Nope.
You had 3 years to put together this huge convention. They call it a celebration of Star Wars, and you don't talk about any of the films.
They only said
that's
that
a problem.
Yeah, they only said that the Taika Waititi one is coming out next year, right?
That's what they said, but
doubt it.
Without putting it on the stage, I'll believe it when I see it.
Yeah, I got it. Yeah.
But the only film that they talked about was not a Star Wars film, and that was Harrison Ford's Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
But come on, guys. Come on.
What's up with the trailer? Tell us what's going on.
Yeah, so in the Mandalorian trailer, we get some really great looks at Bo-Katan sitting on a throne, and it talking about basically going back and taking over Mandalore again. And we also see clearly that the Mandalorian has Grogu with him, and Grogu seems a little older. He's still a baby, but there's clearly some developments that have happened with him.
Okay.
A lot of flashes of showing various characters. Carl Weathers' character, some really beautiful locations. You can tell that they're going to really go to some great places. But yeah, I think the throne scene was probably the main one that,
the biggest thing
caught a lot of people there, because that clearly they're teasing the return to Mandalore, which Obed, I would take that as a movie. Like,
honestly,
that could be cinematic stuff right there.
Yeah.
Nothing against Taika Waititi and Patty Jenkins' projects, but that's the one I'm asking for.
Yeah, that's definitely something that they can expand on. So
absolutely.
Yeah. But I mean, we're still standing by our theory that all these shows are going to culminate in a big cinematic thing.
100%.
Like Mando and Ahsoka and Boba Fett and all this, they're all going to come together. So
yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
Ahsoka, next one up.
Yeah.
You got to see that trailer.
Chopper.
That was pretty cool. Chopper, Hera. We get some quick looks there, and the very clear tease at the end is that Ezra, they're gonna go find him. They have the very nice mural that you see from Rebels. They use the animated cartoon mural and put that in live action. I'm like, this is so awesome.
I know, man. Good.
Obed, you know how many questions we're gonna be getting from people who know that we're sweaty nerds and are just casuals, and they're gonna be like,
what is this
that from?
Yeah, man.
All those hours of watching 4 seasons of these things, whatever. They're giving us payoff, and I love that.
Yeah, the suffering through the space whales.
The space pigs, the space whales.
That paid off. I mean, that's important, right? The space whales are important.
Because of the end.
Because of exactly. It's like, oh, okay, so that's good. At least this wasn't pointless. So it's great. Good job, Filoni. And also for Mando, Bryce Dallas Howard confirmed to be directing 3 episodes, right?
Which, I mean, the woman deserves a movie again.
Man.
No offense to these other people, but
dude, honestly,
what a crime if this woman does not direct. What more does she have to do?
Right.
All of her episodes are
excellent.
The best, yeah.
Yeah.
Not a problem at all.
Yep. So yeah, a lot of good stuff from there.
Skeleton
Crew with Jude Law.
That's the John Watts project, right? So that's pretty good.
Yep.
And then you get your animated stuff. Tales of the Jedi gonna be coming in 20-minute episodes roughly from Dave Filoni. Gonna be various different Jedi moments. That's kind of important. Young Ahsoka, young Dooku, Qui-Gon. These are some of the ones that the characters they tease. I love that because it's more Clone Wars type stuff, but it's Jedi focused.
More Visions next year. Yeah.
More Visions. Bad Batch coming this year.
Yeah, I wasn't disappointed. It's like, where's my Bad Batch? I've been saying it for a few weeks now.
That was the last day of the convention.
Yeah, I was saying it for a few weeks now. I was like, where's my Bad Batch, guys? It's like I haven't seen the trailer. What's up? And then we get Palpy in the trailer, and
I know.
it looks like it's gonna be crazy and all this stuff happening, right? I'm curious to see how they will integrate the show into some of the other like bigger scope projects, like maybe both Mando, probably not Boba Fett, but Mando and whatnot, and if we are going to see this guy's in live action, so we'll see.
It might be closer to the holidays. People are assuming. They said fall. Some are thinking that maybe it's October, maybe it's November, could even be December.
Yeah.
I think December though, they're holding out for their Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas special that they're working on. That's going to probably be their.
Got it. Oh, and Andor's supposed to be like super long, right? Like 12 episodes.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's good. I'll take it.
Yeah, man. They're gonna run with that. So yeah, if Andor's August and there's 12 episodes, yeah, you're probably looking at November for Bad Batch.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Just going back to just the Willow trailer real quick, because it looked good. It's been polarizing, but I mean, it's a movie that I haven't seen since it came out.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's good, right? It's back then it was, 80s action fantasy thing, It looked fine. I don't see anything egregious on it. So yeah.
Everyone I talked to seemed to say that it looked cool to them.
Yeah.
It's just it's right where it's supposed to be, television. I mean, I'm not trying to degrade it by any means, but I'm just saying, like, I think they really are putting it where it's supposed to be, and that's
well
fine.
Suited.
That's good.
It's well suited for that. Hashtag bring back Labyrinth.
Yeah.
Although,
Warwick Davis being back in is pretty cool. I love that they keep him around for anything that Lucasfilm's doing. Like, keep the guy around. He's a national treasure for us.
Oh yeah. I mean, he's been in a few more things. After Star Wars and like lesser known B movies, and he was in Narnia, and the second Narnia.
Oh yeah, I remember him.
Yeah. Nickelbrick.
Yep.
I love those movies. Those are great.
Oh yeah. Nostalgia.
Yeah, he was. I don't know if you ever saw Leprechaun, the horror movie with Jennifer Aniston. Nope.
Didn't see that one.
It's a B movie.
He's a leprechaun in that movie.
It's a movie. It's a B movie. It's a B horror movie with Jennifer Aniston. I think it was the first thing that Jennifer Aniston was ever in.
Wow. Okay.
And he's basically a leprechaun that basically offs people when they get the coins. Like, they steal their coins, and it's like, bring me coins, and just start slashing people. Yeah, and they made like that was like a whole franchise, but I don't think I think he was only on like the first two maybe, and then I don't know, there's like 7 of them. It's ridiculous.
This guy would be getting royalties.
There's like a leprechaun.
He doesn't need
all right, you know what, let's fact check this.
Here we go.
Oh man,
he must be doing fine. He must be getting royalties from these guys or whatever, so he's probably doing pretty good. I'm sure work from
1993. It was Jennifer Aniston in her first role ever with Warwick Davis. Budget of $1 million, made 8.6 in the box office. I remember seeing it on HBO for like it was on rotation.
Yeah, on those. Yeah.
But there's a let me see. I want to see how many there are. There you go. Yeah, sequels and reboot. There is a 1, 2, 3, 4. There's so the first one, there's part 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 8 Leprechaun movies, sir. The last one was direct to DVD, December 2018. But I do not know if Warwick Davis is in that. So, you know what? Let's see. If he's there, he's probably in the other ones. No, he's not there. So he probably jumped ship after that. But yeah, it's ridiculous. It's like Leprechaun in space, Leprechaun in the Hood, Back to the Hood with a 2 on it. Oh my
goodness.
So edgy.
Oh my goodness.
So ridiculous. I love the 90s and 80s movies are so dumb.
Oh, there's some crazy stuff, man. Crazy. You're like, that got greenlit? Crazy.
I know.
Sure.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. It was like after Child's Play, right? Like a lot of like unconventional movies got greenlit. It was like, oh, sure. I have this concept about this killer snowman, and they made that Jack Frost horror movie.
Oh yeah.
And then like a week later, the Jack Frost was with Michael Keaton came out, and people were confused.
Oh no.
Because they were both called Jack Frost.
Oh no. That's two very different things, guys.
Oh, trust me, they're
Not
two
the
very different
same.
movies.
Very different movies.
Carrot. That's all I gotta say, and I'm gonna move on from there, sir, because this is a family-friendly podcast. Cool. Anything else, sir, that you want to talk about?
No, I mean, celebration is what it is. Next year, you're going to have it in London. There was rumors it'd be here in Orlando, so that must mean, I would imagine, 2024 it's coming here probably.
Cool. All right, man. All right. Let's jump in to the state of play, because there's a ton of good stuff, and I am very excited, Joe. And we already said that Jedi Survivor is coming out 2023, but 2023 I already started putting money aside, dude, because it's gonna be ridiculous. This is gonna be 2018 all over again, or 2017, whatever year that was.
A golden year,
bro. So Resident Evil 4 remake announced. It's coming out for PS5, Xbox, PC. Like, a lot of this stuff is coming out multiplat, or or they're doing their own different thing. I like what I see. This is a day one purchase. Like, you don't have to sell me this game, right? Like, you could just say, "Oh, this is a Resident Evil 4 remake," and release no trailers for it, and I'll buy it.
Oh yeah,
that's how it. I mean, that's my number. What was it, like my number 3 in the my favorite games of all time? Yeah, man, this game is amazing. And just seeing it, I mean, the original game, that village sequence on that original game is probably one of the best sequences in gaming history, honestly speaking. When you get to the castle, it starts getting a little bit campy, and then the camp ramps up from there. It looks like they're going to wrangle it up a little bit and make it more serious. And that was one thing that when they asked Shinji Mikami, who directed the original, recently, or not recently, might have been a couple of years ago, that if there will be a Resident Evil 4 remake, what would he like to see? And he said, I would like to see a more serious story. And it looks like now they're putting in that Leon has PTSD from Raccoon City, from Resident Evil 2, right? So, because you show up right on Resident Evil 4, you play as Leon, a few years after Raccoon City happened, and he shows up and he's freaking like super spy agent and super cop, basically, right? So here it looks like, it's like, the nightmares, and it's like, I can't get him out of my head, and like he has PTSD from what happened in Raccoon City, and I like that they're bringing that serious tone to it. It looks like a lot of the sillier stuff, like Lord Sadler, who was in the trailer, was wrangled back and made a little bit more serious. I like the approach. The graphics look insane. It's one of those things that, this game doesn't need a remake because this game is amazing, which Resident Evil 4 is, right? But then when you see it, it's like, oh yeah, dude.
It answers it. Yeah, that's the thing. When you can justify it when you deliver like this. You know what I mean? Like, you make something great and you bring it back out and keep it fresh. Like, something like you's gonna have to buy it again.
Yeah, yeah. Looks like they're making a big push for VR this year. Or within the next 2 years. They said that VR 2 is going out this year, right? This fall.
Yeah, I think it's supposed to be. I mean, we got that one image of it, and I can't remember since then. But I still love that we're fine. Like right now, we're not only are we getting content announced for it, but like that's something that definitely gets my attention. I've been wanting to jump into the VR thing. I see Oculus Quest 2s and all that stuff, and I've wanted to get into it.
Yeah.
If PlayStation, if they can deliver something that's a really awesome experience, got my attention.
Yeah. So
that's the theme for this whole thing. It's a good show. It was a good rundown.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's pretty strong. Yeah. Hold on, give me 1 second here, sir. Let me rearrange my screen because I have a little bit of a mess.
It's got a lot going on.
I got a lot going on. I want to be able to see. There we go. So speaking of that VR push, Resident Evil 4 is going to have VR content. Resident Evil Village is going to have VR content. We saw a new trailer for Horizon Call of the Mountain, which looks crazy. Like to be able to explore that world in VR is nuts.
I know.
So that looks very good. No Man's Sky VR. They really are poising themselves to have a lot of content available for VR. And that's counting and assuming that the VR experiences that we had on PS4 are probably going to be backwards compatible with this new headset. So when you put both together, then you have plenty of content. So big announcement, Joel, that Spider-Man Remastered is coming to PC. That's it. Go ahead.
No, I mean, I think this is brilliant. Like, I love that they're bringing, and it seems like from what we talked about, was it last week, that was like their push for even like in the next few years to make a large percentage of their library compatible. Like, that's fine, dude. Like, that doesn't bother me one bit. This is great. If anything, I celebrate it. More people can play these games.
Yeah, especially Spidey, man. Spidey's solid. He's so good. And you get, it's the remaster version, so you have the reworked face.
You get the Shawn Mendes Peter Parker.
Shawn Mendes Peter Parker.
That's what a lot of people were saying, bro.
I saw one that it was Tom Garfield, because he looks like Tom Holland and Garfield together. Yeah. So
Tom Holland and Andrew Garfield had a child. This is the one.
He would look like him. Yeah, and this, comes out along with Miles. So it's a really good package. Solid game. So, if you're a PC only user, or PC and Xbox or PC or Switch, right?
Yeah.
This would be great opportunity for you to grab this game, because it is fantastic. So I do highly recommend it. We got a trailer for the Callisto Protocol, which I thought it was Dead Space. I was like, well, I thought it looks like Dead Space, but the guy's not wearing that mining armor thing that he wears.
Yeah, the lights.
And then I remember that that there was actually like a Dead Space. I think like a gameplay thing that came out not too long ago. So this game looks interesting. Looks super gross. Looks like a survival horror in space. Kind of like that. Again, I confused it with Dead Space because it's very, very similar. Not much to say there. I mean, not 100% my cup of tea, but it looks all right nonetheless. So, yeah, I don't know if you have anything else to add to that.
No, nothing to add to that one. I mean, that's not to be this way. It looks good, but like I said, not my cup of tea. I probably won't be playing this, but never say never.
Yep. Rollerdrome, which seems to be I guess, a battle royale on skates, right? It seems that way. So yeah, it looks different. The art design looks really good. Like now again, I'm a sucker for that sort of thing. So that looks really nice. And yeah, I mean, not much to say there. Not my cup of tea, but no, it may be someone's favorite game ever. We don't know. Like my game of the show, Enter Knights. So Enter Knights, and this looks good. This looks like a really good like action RPG dating sim thing that they have here. Graphically look fine. It seems like the gameplay was fine. It's one of those things that we'll have to wait and see for reviews and
Yeah. But I like that it wasn't just like a regular, like it wasn't a trailer that's like a cinematic trailer. Like the reveal trailer was straight up gameplay. So you want to know what you're getting into with Enter Knights, you get a good glimpse of the gameplay.
Yeah.
Pretty straightforward.
Yeah. And then, you have a shape-shifting arm after it gets cut off and all that good stuff, and anime hijinks. So you will enjoy that, people. So, all right. Before I jump to the big boys. Tunic is coming to PlayStation, which I heard is a very, very good game. September 27th, both on PS5 and PS4. PS5 and PS4. And this is an action adventure platformer, kind of like old school Zelda sort of thing. I heard it's hard. So, but I heard very good things about it. So that's coming out. They announced a new game called Season: A Letter to the Future. And again, art design 100% sold. Not the type of game that I would, spend a ton of time with, but it looked beautiful nonetheless. So it's definitely worth mentioning. Stray is coming out July 19th. The cat simulator finally. So this is basically like a from the way I look at it, right? It's kind of like a cyberpunk cat stealth game. I really don't know what you need to do in the game or what the purpose of it is, but it looked pretty good. I think we saw this game when the PS5 got announced, right?
I think so.
This is one of those launch trailers. It's been a while, yeah. So it's finally coming out July 19th. All right, Joe. Talk about when it rains, it pours. Because I have not been this excited for a game since probably MPS5.
Which I was there to witness that. And it was special.
I was very excited.
That was special.
Bro, Street Fighter 6 looks crazy. In a good way.
You have already pre-ordered.
I have not pre-ordered, but... Oh my God. Where do I start with this game, dude? Where do I start? So they put... All right. Main complaint that a lot of people had, including myself... when Street Fighter 5 came out, it was bare bones, online only, nothing to do, just practice and online. This game has like a full like RPG create a character mode, and in Metro City, it's like we're gonna have a dude exploring the Final Fight universe, going around and and then the character designs look awesome, right? And then the trailer hits with the gameplay and all that, and it looks beefy. It looks like, there's weight to the hits and colorful, and the paint spray and all this good stuff happening, and everything is good, and I'm really excited. 8 hours later, everything came down, dude. I don't know if you've seen any of the stuff that happened after that. No, bro. Everything leaked. The roster, like actual character models, supers. What
sounds intentional?
It does, but
that's a lot.
But I gotta say that the redesigns and the character roster, I am losing my freaking mind, dude.
That's a good thing, then. Yeah,
it is so good, and I'm like, I saw it. I was like, no way. I was like, no. Wow. And I keep going. I was like, nah. Cammy has pants now, finally, after all this time. And then,
sure, hey.
And I'm like, what the heck? Because, Street Fighter is special to me, right? And I'm looking at this redesigns for these characters and the way the game looks. And then there's a leaked video of Ken, of the character select screen with Ken, when he looks like pissed. And I was like, oh my God. I can't wait, dude. I am so, dude. Like, honestly, I want to play this game on PlayStation, right? Unfortunately, PS4 fight sticks are not compatible with PS5s. You would have to get an adapter. I think I'm gonna get, for the first time ever, I think I'm gonna get this game on PC, and I'm just gonna buy a PlayStation version. I'm gonna buy both, and I'm gonna play on PC and have it on PlayStation.
You gotta keep playing it.
I'm because I can, my Fire Stick I can use on PC.
Yep.
And I can just get the game on Steam and then play. Oh man, I am so pumped for this stupid game, dude. Like, you have no idea, man. And and it looks different, and it looks new, and it looks good, and I am 100% in. I am so excited. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say, man. I don't know what to say. I'm just really, really happy. Really, really happy.
I love that.
And like, Capcom did what they needed to do. Like, this is what they needed to do for me to get excited. Me being bought Street Fighter 2 a dozen times, got the collections and all the Street Fighter 4 versions that came out on PS4, and bought all the DLC for 5, even though I haven't played in 2 years and 4 years or whatever, right? I still support it, right? Because it's something I love. But now it's like, now this is the time now.
This is the one.
This is the one. I am overjoyed with this thing. It's ridiculous, and I am so happy and excited, and I can't wait. So I'm assuming this game looks like it's a long way already. So I think this is gonna be like February next year.
Okay,
more than likely. And Final Fantasy 16. Amazing trailer. Crazy stuff happening. You know, espers everywhere. Summer 2023. I think I'm gonna get half a point for that because I said March. So I'm gonna say half a point.
You're pretty good, pretty close.
Yeah, but this trailer looked amazing. The battle looked the new battle system with the whole like kind of like DMC chain system they have going on, and how you play it looks pretty amazing. So again, like right now, bro, I got Street Fighter because there's no going around it, right? I got Final Fantasy because there's no going around it. Breath of the Wild 2 because there's no going around it. Jedi Survivor because of course, right?
Gotta continue.
And is God of War coming out this year?
No, that's next year.
God of War.
That's next year, man.
So the thing with God of War, I don't know if you saw what happened with that. No. So they leaked up like Funko stuff for September. Or something leaked with like either
some
Funko
merch coming out. So you could be, but
yeah. So merch for September, and it got rated on the Korean ratings board. So they have a build of it somewhere. So this game could potentially like we can probably get another state of play in July for like God of War, right? We don't know.
That's fair. Midsummer.
Yeah. When's the Xbox event?
I think that's next week.
Next week, right?
Yeah. Fact checking, guys. Fact checking.
Yeah. Summer Game Fest. But June 9th. So
okay, so next week.
Yeah. So what's that on
Thursday?
Thursday, yeah.
So
we'll cover it
when we record. Yep.
Yeah, we'll cover it for sure. So we're definitely gonna cover that. I'm assuming that there's gonna be a Nintendo Direct. There was a Nintendo Direct for Pokemon. They released the trailer for the new Scarlet and Violet, and it looks awesome. And LeChonk is the cutest. And I am looking forward. Like this year, right? It's pretty dry for the rest of the year right now, unless Nintendo comes out with like something bonkers, like a new Mario. But right now, I'm set. Like I got my Horizon, I got Elden Ring. I'm gonna probably keep going back and forth between the two, and then maybe I can start doing some of the like the Persona 5 Strikers and this other games that I never got to from PlayStation Plus. So
sure. Gonna upgrade your PS Plus?
Not yet. I got too much. Yeah, I got too much on my plate. So maybe. Who knows?
Gotcha. My thing expires, I think, like around August. So that's probably when I'll.
Oh, yours? Yeah, I think mine's done in a few weeks. So
okay,
I got a budget for that too. Good stuff, man. It's all we got, but in case something happens, we'll just keep where can people find us, Joe?
Absolutely. Thank you all so much for sticking with us. Make sure you subscribe to our show, podcast platforms of your choice, places like Spotify, Google Play, Apple Music, SoundCloud, Spotify. Sorry, I just said Spotify twice. Wow. Love that place.
Spotify, Google Music, Spotify, Apple Music, Spotify, Amazon, Spotify, YouTube.
Spotify. Did I say that enough times? We're not sponsored, Spotify.
I wish I get that Spotify exclusivity deal.
We'll take it. They don't need Joe Rogan. They need a little time.
Exactly.
All right. So go ahead and subscribe to us on these podcast platforms and subscribe to our video version on our YouTube channel. We've dropped the video versions of our podcast there. Like those videos. drop a comment, share these episodes with your friends and family. We'd really appreciate it. We also invite you to write a review about No Load Time on any of those podcast platforms I talked about. Write a review, really helps us as we're trying to share these episodes organically with others. Next, please follow us on social media at No Load Time. That's at No Load Time. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, also TikTok. On Twitch, it's No Load Time altogether. But we're out there on social, so make sure you follow us there. Also, make sure that you send us an email if you have any questions, comments, feedback, sponsorships. Send an email to
free consoles.
No Load Time. Yeah, free consoles. noloadtime@gmail.com. That's noloadtime@gmail.com. Obed, it's a pleasure. I'm sure we'll have much to talk about next week. Stay tuned, everyone. We'll see you
Absolutely. Next time. Thank you, guys. Stay safe. We'll see you again next time.